anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. That's the neighborhood dog. I'm going to do the collective for today. Today is Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. You may follow me on the book, the tech, the tube, the lemonade, the blue sky social, the fan base, the Insta, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, fabulous. We love that for you. Whatever does not, please just leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. That is the lady that leaves the dog on the chain, like on and off all day long. And the dog is a menace. It always attacks other dogs. It always tries to attack Olivia's dog. Dogs, I should say. And all the lady does is yell at it. And it's quite annoying. But I'm going to do a reading anyway. Maybe we're vibing with that energy today. I don't know. We're going to use the Kipper deck. I got mine off of Amazon recently, like 2 months ago. 2 months ago, maybe. I think I told you guys I wanted to order one off of Etsy. This woman has a deck in her shop, and it's got like more like modern day photos and then just the words on there. So I think it's like $40. I still have it on my cart. I might break down and do that today. There's another deck on there. It's called it's not the same seller, but there's a cosmic deck, and it's like all neon, bright colors with just words on there. And I'm like, ooh, I really want that deck. I think it's only like $36. We got 2 on the table. Four on the table. Oh, this is interesting. 5 on the table. Did I say that? 5 on the table. 6 on the table. 7 on the table. This is interesting. This is not what I expected today. This was not what I expected today. I had a good morning. I went to the beach and watched the sunrise. It was a little cloudy, and then it got sunny, and I went to breakfast with my friend in Kenosha, downtown Kenosha there. Not by the water, but close to the water, and spent like almost 4 hours talking because I hadn't seen her since November. It was good. It was real good. Brought home some pastries, brought home some donuts. I think my dinner's going to be donuts, I'm not going to lie. I might have went crazy. We got 8 on the table. We got 2. We're going to shuffle 2 more times. Sorry. What? We got 10 on the table. That was my cat galloping, by the way. That wasn't a horse. That was a cat. If you heard that, that was a cat. Okay, one last shuffle here. Forgot my drink. I was going to bring in my electrolyte drink. I forgot it. I'm going to set this on the deck. on the sill. We got 11 with bottom of the deck. We've got marriage, toil and labor, mature woman. We got house. We got gift. We got privileged lady. Despair. Thoughts. Distant horizons. Official person. And bottom of the deck, bad health. So, feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. Yeah, there's a mature woman, there's a privileged lady. I'm going to say it as a woman just because it's easier for me. But you take it as it resonates, okay? Because this could be a man, a woman. You could consider yourself nothing, and this could be you. So, short version, someone got married, and it didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to be. This mature woman married with the toil and labor and the despair. This is someone getting married, thinking like, I don't want to say all of us, but some of us, maybe most of us, especially women, okay, young women, girls even. It's put into our head from an early age, or at least it used to be, right? You graduate high school, you go to college, you get married, you give your life up to have kids, and you take care of the house, and you have 3 kids and 2 dogs, and you 80s and 90s, you drive a minivan, right? Now you drive an SUV. I just heard you do it for the love of the game. In reality, when you think about it, it is a game. It could totally be a game. Now, this woman, this mature woman, she might have gotten married when she was older. She could have gotten married when she was younger, and this is her looking back. Okay? This mature woman became the privileged lady. This is someone with the house card, the gift card. This is someone that had a beautiful home. This is someone that was probably lavished with gifts by their spouse. The thing is with the toil and labor card and the despair card, like, this is someone realizing, like, I gave up a lot of myself to be one part of a couple, and this is what I have at the end of the day. I have a house and I have gifts, but what do I have for me? This is someone that is in constant deep thought about basically life circumstances, about getting into this union, the way their life turned out, the fact that now they're looking back and wishing that they had done things differently. This is someone looking to the future, possibly divorce, possibly a separation, then a divorce. This is someone that now, as a mature woman, they might not be in the best of health. I'm also getting to that for some, this mature woman, this privileged lady, was notified by an official person. I mean, in this case, it might not have technically been an official person. When I think of official person, I think of like judges, lawyers, police, doctors, like, and like government officials, politicians, like like the president of the United States, right? Like official people, mayors, right? Local government, town councilmen, people that would quote unquote have status. You could even liken it to like Hollywood stars, musicians, things like that. I'm not really getting that. Like to me, if this mature woman privileged lady was notified by an official person about someone else's bad health, again, it probably would be a lawyer or a relative. In that case, that would be okay. If it was just like a normal person. Um, because then it would just be an official person card falling out saying, hey, somebody notified so and so of someone being in bad health. And it could technically be the person in bad health notifying the mature woman, the privileged lady. So take how that resonates for you. If this resonates at all, this is I feel like it's a little specific. I'm not going to lie. And I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it because it's there with the toil and labor card. Whoever this mature woman is, whoever this privileged lady is, this is someone that felt like they were abused in their marriage, in their union. Um, and I don't want anybody to be offended because I come from an abusive background, so I understand. But everybody's definition of abuse is different, and some people will consider, I don't know how to say it. Um, well, let me put it this way. A narcissistic personality would consider everything done against them as abuse, even if it's just like somebody's telling you no, right? You would tell a narcissist no, like that they consider that abuse. Like like that's the end of the world. Whereas somebody tells me no, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's no then. Like I'm not offended, but a narcissist would be offended by that. Like they would turn around and be like, oh, so and so was abusive to me. And I don't want to label this mature woman or this privileged lady as narcissistic or making things up, but I'm just saying everybody's definition of abuse can vary. Okay. Take that into account too. Take that as it resonates for you. Because I don't really feel like I'm not getting like I'm not getting like physical abuse or sexual abuse. I think more or less it would be like like and again, I don't want to downplay anything, but like the average complaint of a housewife, like not having enough time for themselves, always having to take care of everybody else, always having to make sure everything runs smoothly for everything else. And then when it comes time to them, nothing. And nobody gives a shit, right? To me, that's neglect. I don't know that I mean, it's abuse, yes, but it's more neglect, if that makes sense. It's more like an emotional mental abuse, right? Again, everybody has a different definition of what they consider. To me, abuse is abuse. So like if this mature woman privileged lady says I was abused, then you were abused. I don't have any right to judge that call. the thing is if this was someone I knew personally, like I was friends with or related to, and they were like, oh, I was an abused housewife, right? And I would be like, well, not from what I saw. You know what I mean? Or, yeah, you were. You totally were. You know? Like, I would have more of an opinion if I knew who this person was, if this is someone in relation to my life. I feel like more, again, I feel like more like there was probably emotional, mental, maybe verbal abuse. Because it very much gives the energy of like someone stuck, right? And you guys know I don't even like using that word because people are only stuck when they make themselves stuck. So, but I understand that people have circumstances to where they feel like they can't leave, they can't get a divorce, they can't separate, they can't move on. I get it. But those are all self-imposed thoughts and ideas. Like, and I've said this before, I've used myself before as an example. You know, when the ex-husband and I separated and we got divorced, you're talking like it was probably like an 7-month process, maybe somewhere around there. Um, and technically, we hadn't even been sharing a bedroom for even longer than when we actually got separated. And we just really weren't there as a couple for a long time, honestly. And I don't, if he felt that, he never said anything to me, even after the fact. Or maybe he did. I don't know. It's hard for me to remember all that stuff. And it's not because I blocked it out. It's just because, like, remembering every little thing that he said and every little thing that I said. Um, I'm probably a little too old for that. But it was a hard process. Even me being the one that wanted the separation and the divorce, and me going to him and saying I want a divorce and not really asking, telling, that was still hard on me. Do I think it was as hard on me as it was on him? Absolutely not. I know it was harder on him. I know it was, for many, many reasons. So I understand how hard it is to make those decisions and completely gut your life and start over. I understand that. But at the same time, like, I cannot imagine still being in that marriage. I just can't. I can't. And for all the times that I'm here on my own, single, living my life, doing my thing, working my job, working on here, doing my TikTok, hanging out with the cats, like, uh, for all the times that I'm lonely and I wish I had another person, I wish I had my person, right? Um, I would never go back to that. I would not. I couldn't. I just couldn't. So when I hear the word stuck, it kind of like on the one hand, this is I always say this is the Gemini in me because I understand all sides. So like on the one hand, like I get it, but on the other hand, it's like I don't get it. Like, would I have left myself in that situation stuck? Hell to the no. Like, when I decided I needed out, I needed out, and I needed out then. That 7 months where we decided to separate and we actually got our final divorce, that was 7 months too long. Like, that was should have been done in a week. I'm just saying, like, I just can't imagine leaving myself in that situation for 1 second longer. And that's not even on him. That's on me. That's how I felt. Like, I needed out of that marriage, out of that union, out of that situation. And I've said before, him and I are friends right now. If I get into another relationship, I don't know that that'll be the case. I would like to see him get into a relationship. I would love for him to be in a relationship. Again, if we can't be friends after that, for obvious reasons, I understand. But right now we're friends and I enjoy that aspect of our relationship. And I've said before, we should have always just been friends. We should have always just been friends. And again, that's nothing on him. I've said before, like, we are who we are. Like, I knew I knew what I was doing when I was getting into that marriage, and I got into it anyway. And it wasn't until years later that I was like, what, why did I do this to myself? And that's because I was changing. I was growing. I was healing myself from old wounds and childhood trauma, and like going through the motions and trying to stay out of depression and coming out of depression. And like, I just had so much going on. It was like, how did I even end up here? I can't imagine staying in this marriage, pretty house, expensive house, gifts. I don't give a shit. Like, if I'm unhappy, I'm not staying. Like, whoever she is, whoever this mature woman, this privileged lady is, she was not happy there. She's not at all happy. Like, this literally looks like someone down on their luck, right? Probably a homeless guy with a poor little homeless doggy. And whoever this is, too, when you look at the despair card in the background, it says not hiring. This is probably someone that got married, was a wifey, maybe didn't have a job, maybe they only had a part-time job, maybe they only had a job every now and then. Again, maybe they were having kids and raising a family. And if you are looking to separate from your spouse, if you're looking to get a divorce, I mean, you have to figure out how to support yourself, because maintenance, aka alimony, is no guarantee anymore. Let's just be honest. And in this day and age, if you sign some type of agreement before you get married, you get what's stated in that agreement, or nothing if there's nothing in that agreement. Or you know what I mean? Like you need to be someone that can stand on their own 2 feet when you leave that kind of situation. Even if you don't necessarily have to. Even, let's say this mature woman, privileged lady, let's say they did get maintenance and alimony, every month from the ex-husband. Maybe they got child support too. Maybe they still had kids that were under 18. It doesn't matter. Like, you technically should be coming out of that situation still being able to stand on your own 2 feet and support yourself without that maintenance and that money if necessary. Because what if something were to happen? Like, worst case scenario, the world economy collapses. Your ex-husband loses all his fortune in some, bank thing. The banks all go under. Knock on wood. This is just a story. Don't make this happen. This is just a story. And then you also don't have a job. Like, how would you support yourself? Because at that point, the ex-husband's trying to figure out how to support himself, right? And other than the fact that maybe he has kids that he has to figure out, he doesn't have to figure that out for you. You're on your own. Every man or woman or non-binary for themselves. So, and I've told you guys this more than once too. I know I have, for sure. I think I just talked about it like last week or the week before. when I was going through the separation before the divorce was even final, I had friends and family members tell me to move back home with my parents because they all thought I couldn't do it on my own. And I'm literally standing there like, am I living like in the twilight zone? Like how do you think I can't do it on my own? Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Tell it to me like I'm a fucking idiot. I don't understand. And I said this before. This is my third home. I bought my townhouse. I used my inheritance money that I got from when my aunt passed away to buy my first townhouse. All my money went into that. When I sold the townhouse, the money that I made from the townhouse went into mine and my ex husband's first home, our home together. He put in no money whatsoever. I put in all the money for that. When I asked for the separation, when I asked for the divorce, he was afraid that I wanted half of his 401k because his 401k was a very nice chunk. And even the 7 years we were married, like that would have been a nice little chunk. And I said, no, 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 no. I don't want that. I said, however, I I want my money back that I put into the house from the townhouse. I said that, sorry, but that's only fair. And I put almost $20,000 on the down payment of our house from the townhouse. And honestly, that doesn't even include the money like that I used to buy all of our furniture and stuff for the new house. And I think we had to buy a water heater right away, if I'm not mistaken, like within the first year, I think. I think. Um, I put money into that because I think I walked away from the townhouse with like, I don't know, it's between 25 and 30,000 bucks. And all of that went into the house, all of it. So technically I didn't even make back I didn't even make back technically what I put into it, but I wanted that it was like $19,000, I think. That was the down payment on the house. I wanted it back. And after that we split what was left. So I ended up walking away with almost 22,000 bucks. I can't imagine. And I bought my condo, and that's it. We just hit, it was 2 years in November. It was 2 years in November. It'll be 3 years this coming November that I've been here by myself, on my own, living my life, working my job, taking care of myself and four cats. Other than getting the new car through my dad's inheritance from my grandparents, um, everything else I've done myself. So the people that were literally like, "Oh, I think you should move home. I think you should live with your parents. I don't think you know what it's like to live out there on your own." Excuse me? Excuse me? It's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. My friend and I were just talking about this at breakfast. She had made a comment. She's like, I think, she's like, because she's never been married. She's older than me. I'm 44, going on 45. I think she said 59. So she's a little bit older than me. And she's never been married, no kids. That's her choice. Fully support. I said, maybe you'll want to get married one day. And she goes, Kim, come on. And I said, when you're 80. And we started laughing, and she goes, no, I like being on my own. She's like, I don't even think I would want to get into a marriage for like financial support. She's like, I'd rather be poor and not have money. And I completely understand what she's saying. I completely understand what she's saying. And it's funny because I will say every day, all day, that I did not get support in my marriage, and that for me to get into another marriage, for me to get into another relationship, like I need support. Like I need some type of support. And men especially will always be like, "Oh, well, I can't afford to take care of you." And it's like, I didn't ask you to take care of me financially. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's every woman's dream, right? Especially when you've worked all your life and you're like, "Okay, I would like a husband to take care of me." But that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying I've never had anybody take care of me. I've never had a man buy me a piece of jewelry. I've never had a man buy me a bouquet of roses. I've never, I can't tell you the last time I had a man, well, the guy, the guy from work that was interviewing me for the wife position, he bought me breakfast last year. That was the first time a man had bought me a meal in a long time. Even when I was married to the ex-husband, all of those meal, even if he used his card, that was all coming out of my account. I was paying for that with my checks. It was very, very rare for him to buy me anything. Um, we were together 11 years. I think he bought me 2 or 3 birthday gifts. We were together 11 years. I think he probably bought me 2 or 3 Christmas gifts. Yep. Never had a man take care of me when I'm sick. I always had to take care of a man, though. So when I say, like, I've never been taken care of, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. People will jump down your throat all day long. Well, you need a sugar daddy? Well, maybe you should go get a sugar daddy. It's not what I'm saying. Like, if you can't correlate what I'm saying here, if you can't figure it out, you might need to go back to the drawing board. I've told you guys the story probably a million times about when I had COVID. The ex-husband had COVID. I got COVID 3 days later. He was already getting over his COVID. I was just starting. I called off from work. I was in the guest room. I wasn't even allowed to sleep in my own bed. I was sleeping in the guest room. And he comes into my room at like 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No, maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, evening. And he's like, "What are you making for dinner?" That's what I mean by I've never been taken care of. Fully grown ass man that couldn't even make his own dinner when his wife was literally lying in bed with body chills, what felt like broke ass bones, and couldn't even move. So, yeah. This mature woman privileged lady has a lot to think about. If this mature woman privileged lady is the one that's in bad health, I'm assuming that a separation and or divorce would probably be coming sooner rather than later. Because I'm getting like this is someone that would want to like finish out their days with some peace and solitude, not like catering to the whims of, a whole family when they don't even look after you. And if this is someone else, they're being notified about being in bad health. I mean, that still might propel them to a separation or divorce all that more faster. Just because, we don't have a lot of time. So why would we waste it? Kind of thought. And this is someone who, I think when they first got married, like this mature woman, this privileged lady, thought that they were really lucky. Like, oh, I met so and so, and we're gonna have this great life together. And I don't think people think through the psychological aspect of getting into a relationship with another human being. Now, again, there's a difference between a healthy relationship and a non-healthy one. Sadly, I feel like I've only ever known non-healthy. And like I said before, it's like the tale as old as time. You know, women and or men, right, get into marriages, union situations, and then they're like, well, what the hell is this? Like, how did this happen? They're 10 years in, two kids in, and their depression knows no bounds. They're not happy, like, again, that could happen for the men and the women. This distance horizons, it's a ship. And I just keep hearing sail away, sail away, sail away. Isn't that was it like Enya, right? Isn't that the song Sail Away? I keep hearing that in my head. People always said that her songs are really peaceful. I never really thought her songs were that much different than anything else. Pardon me. Whoever this mature woman, this privileged lady is, I keep looking at these paintbrushes. I think they write in a journal. I know those aren't pens, but I'm picturing somebody writing in a journal. I think anything that they thought about their marriage, their situation, they wrote about in a journal. I also think like writing about specific instances of abuse, right? So that they could go back and look at it and be like, to try and use it in a more positive way to kind of try and get themselves to get the hell out of this situation, if that makes sense. Pardon me, I don't know why I'm so tired all of a sudden. I'm not really tired, I'm just yawny. And I don't know if this mature woman, this privileged lady came from money or just got into money, right, with the privileged lady. So maybe the spouse had money because I'm picturing like a fairly like decent expensive like wedding. Maybe not the most expensive wedding ever known to man, but fairly pricey. Kind of like a big gathering. I don't know. I was supposed to have no more than 60 for the size of um like the ballroom that we had at our banquet hall. It was supposed to be no more than 60, and I think we had like 56, 57 people. So we ended up being under, but you pay for 60 meals. That's part of what the cost is. So you have to pay for all those meals whether the people come or not. And we had the smallest, when the ex-husband and I got married, we had the smallest ballroom there. It was actually upstairs on the second level. It was the only ballroom on the second level. And it's technically was not even a ballroom. They used to use it for like conferences, things like that. And it's funny because the next year the ex-husband and I went to his cousin's wedding, and him and his fiance, they got married in the ballroom where we had our reception, and then their reception was downstairs in one of the huge rooms. And they had over 100 people. I don't know how many. But when I picture this mature woman and this privileged lady, I'm you're probably talking like 150, 200, 250, somewhere in there. Like a fairly large wedding, for sure. And this mature woman, this privileged lady, she's someone that likes to dress. This is someone that likes clothes. They have like, I can't really say anything because now I have three dressers. I was talking to my friend about that at breakfast too. But this is someone that would either have like a huge closet, like the size of a room, or they would have like two big closets and like two, four dressers, like storage under the bed kind of thing. I was telling my friend at breakfast, in my defense, one whole side of my closet is my work shirts, like literally all work shirts on the one whole side. Work shirts and work sweatshirts. And if I put all that into a dresser, it would take up like one whole dresser. Because I tried to put it, I tried to put it in like two drawers originally, because originally I took it all out of the closet and I couldn't. It was in two drawers in my dresser in my room, and it was in three drawers in here. That's a whole dresser, because all two of my dressers are in there are six drawer and one is a five drawer. So that's a whole dresser of work clothes. Yeah, anyway, this mature woman likes clothes. I like shoes. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope the message resonated for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you found it entertaining. This was interesting. I was not expecting this to fall out today. I was expecting one of those, like karmic lover turd situations. I'm not going to lie. It just seems like that kind of day. I don't know. Actually, it's beautiful out. I shouldn't say that. I hope everybody has a lovely day, a lovely evening, a fabulous weekend, and I'll talk to you later.